Before this video starts, just a small disclaimer, I'm currently being attacked by pollen, and my sinuses are very clogged up in this video. So if my voice sounds a little different, that is why. Along with that, the channel has just unlocked memberships, so if you would like to check that out by looking at the join button down below, by becoming a member, you will have access to videos earlier, be able to have priority voting on new series and uploads, and rankings. Thanks for your consideration. Now, let's get right into the video. With Babidi now launching his plan to resurrect Majin Buu, will the training that the Z-Fighters underwent be enough to stop it? Find out all of this and more on the third part of What If the Sagas Were Reversed. In the last episode, we saw the Z-Fighters on Earth cycling groups through the Room of Spirit and Time. Each group starts off by spending a month inside the room like Goku did back when he was a child, and then slowly on and add time from there. Along with that, Kami suggested that each group swap partners and have them focus on team attacks for the enemy's arrival, all in an effort to help Goku once he and the Supreme Kai arrive to deal with Majin Buu. Before that though, let's go over how much each of the Z-Fighters grew in the past few months preparing for Babidi to strike. Starting off, we have Gohan with a power level of 2300, with him spending about 6 months in the Room of Spirit at a time, along with having several strong partners going in each time. Next, we have the person that he trained with the most during these past 6 months, that being Krillin, with a new power level of 2800. Though he had the least experienced training partner due to Gohan just starting his training, he was able to catch up very quickly. Following Krillin, we have Tin Shinhan just below Krillin with a power level of 2700, though it seems he has gained a lot from Kami's training methods during these past 6 months. Then we have his training partner being Yamcha growing to a power level of 2000, with him and Tien having the best teamwork and combo attacks coming into Kami's training. Then for the final two Z-Fighters, we have Yajirobe and Chaozu having a new power level of 1500 each. Though they have honed their techniques well during this time, with Chaozu's telekinesis and Yajirobe's sword skills developing greatly. Though not one of the main fighters, Kami himself did take part of this training, seeing how he had to bring everyone up to Goku's starting level. Along with that, he wanted to be a help during the fight, so he grew his power level to a power level of 750. With each of them now on the lookout after being sent to collect the Dragon Balls just in case of an emergency by Kami. Now they are just waiting for Goku and Supreme Kai for the plan on how to deal with Babidi. Speaking of Goku, he and Capito have just recently finished another one of their sparring matches, with Shin telling the two of them to stop and saying that they need to prepare to leave. Goku and Capito bowed to one another, with the former thanking Capito on the warm-up. He's feeling pumped and ready to face against Babidi and possibly that Majin Buu guy. Shin tells Goku that they should hope that they don't have to worry about fighting Majin Buu. Their goal is to stop his resurrection and stop Babidi. Goku laughs and nods, saying he understands the mission. Shin says that they better leave now to inform the Earth's fighters on the plan to defeat Babidi. He asks Goku if he would do the honor with him placing his hands on the two Kai's shoulders. He then senses out Earth and then focusing in on some familiar key signatures. He and the Kais are then teleported onto the lookout just in front of the Z-Fighters. They are just surprised to see Goku in the Kai's apparel out of thin air, only seeing Kami use the teleporting skill like he did before when he left with Goku to the other world. Along with that, it seems Goku has had a weird change in clothes matching that of what the Kais are wearing. Gohan runs up to his father asking about all the other cool techniques he learned. Goku says that he will show them later, wondering how strong Goku has gotten over his time in training. He then notices that Gohan has a gi not too different to the one he used to wear. Goku tells him that the gi really suits him, with Gohan smiling. The group then gathers around, with Supreme Kai starting to explain the plan to stop Majin Buu's arrival. Shin tells the Z-Fighters that Babidi has most likely taken some people on this planet in as servants to gain information about the planet. This in turn gives the servant a boost in power along with Babidi gaining control of them. So they will have the Z-Fighters trained under this planet's Kami to lure out these servants so they can lead them back to the Babidi spaceship. From there, they will take out Babidi and acquire Majin Buu's egg and take it off this planet. Shin asks Kami to move the lookout to just above where he sends Babidi when he first arrived on the planet. Kami does so before having the Z-Fighters fly down to the wasteland below them. The group land down and have Krillin and Tien charge up their ki to alert Babidi's forces. After a few moments, they feel two large evil ki signatures heading their way. They are surprised to see Piccolo arrive with a large pink guy dressed in a white cape. Along with that, they see Piccolo has a weird tattoo on his forehead. Tien thinks that must be the mark of the control of Babidi that the Supreme Kai warned them about. Majin Piccolo is the first to break the silence by asking if this is all they sent. Where's the son Goku? Even he won't be a match for him with his new state. Krillin counters by saying that the new low even for Piccolo, becoming a servant. Piccolo laughs, saying that if he knew the power that Babidi could give him, he too would become a servant. Though Piccolo says it may be better if he shows how much power he has now, with him vanishing behind Krillin. He then sends Krillin into a nearby column with the rest of the Z-Fighters surprised by Piccolo's speed. Speaking of how much Piccolo has gained over the time with Dabura, let's go over his and Dabura's power level. Majin Piccolo's new power level is at 60,000 with the new Majin Seal, along with him being pummeled into strength by Dabura in the past few months. As for Dabura, he has a new adjusted power level of 150,000 to scale with the new Majin Buu arc. The rest of the Z-Fighters start to team up against Majin Piccolo, with him being able to keep up with most of them, though it doesn't seem to be a fair fight. Dabura notices that Piccolo may be at a disadvantage with it being a 6-on-1 and decides that he will even out the playing field a little. Babidi did say that he only needs the strongest of Earth's fighters to revive Majin Buu, as the Demon King flies over, spitting on 3 of the Z-Fighters. Yajirobe, Chiaotzu, and Tien, though the Triclops is able to notice the spit right at the last second before hitting him and dodges, though the other 2 are not so lucky. Both Yajirobe and Chiaotzu notice as their bodies are turning into stone before they are completely transformed. The Z-Fighters are shocked what had just happened to their friends, not seeing ability like this before. Goku's still on the lookout, asks Shin and Kibito what just happened to his friends. They explain that Dabura has this unique ability that will keep his friends as stone until he is defeated. Goku, enraged by this, jumps off the lookout with the Supreme Kai yelling out to him, saying that this isn't part of the plan. They cannot allow Goku to exert too much power that Babidi can manipulate to the resurrection of Buu. Goku lands down, saying that the rest of them can focus on Piccolo and he will deal with Dabura. Dabura scoffs, saying that the Supreme Kai must have a new pupil, and wonders if it will be worth his time. Dabura then hears Babidi inside his mind saying that the Kili off this one seems to be much more potent than any of the rest of the fighters, so he needs to fight with him as long as possible. Currently they're only at 25% of the Kili needed to resurrect Buu, from the few people they have captured these past few days. Dabura nods before telling Piccolo that he better show off a better effort, after he went through the trouble of helping him out before him and Goku square off. The Z-Fighters are able to keep up with Piccolo as a combined force, but not able to quite land a devastating blow. As for Goku, it seems like him and Dabura are evenly matched, with Goku incorporating the magic he learned during his past few months, teleporting around and materializing cubes of Kachin to counter Dabura's sword swings. The Z-Fighters are showing off their new team attacks against Majin Piccolo, with Yamcha and Tien using what they call a Wolf Fang Volleyball Fist to send him flying through the air. Krillin and Gohan show off their Turtle Skull techniques with a Kamehameha and a 4 Virtues attack. Piccolo sees he is on the back foot and decides to try another one of his old moves as his body starts to change. He grows much like he did back in the 23rd World Tournament and fires mouth beams down at the Z-Fighters. Shin yells out to the Z-Fighters to deal with the foes quickly. They are exerting way too much energy so far. Tien, hearing this, tells the Z-Fighters to do a maneuver that they trained for, as the Turtle School students distract the giant Piccolo, flying around him and using their strongest attacks on him. Yamcha uses a Spirit Ball to fly around the giant Majin Piccolo as Krillin fires a Destructor Disc, which cuts off the giant's arm. He roars out before an arm grows back instantly, but is hit with a Solar Flare from Gohan. As all of this is happening, Tien is high in the sky, charging up a Ki Koho, which he releases as Gohan finishes his Solar Flare. The beam envelops Majin Piccolo with it, sending him back to the ground. Tien fires off another one, which causes Piccolo to revert back to his original form and being knocked out. Tien stops knowing he cannot kill Piccolo without doing the same to Kami. Back in the fight with Dabura and Goku, they notice that the Z-Fighters have taken out Majin Piccolo, with Goku deciding to get serious now. He smiles at Dabura before charging up a Kamehameha, with Dabura charging up a beam to counter it. Dabura releases his first before noticing it hits the ground without any resistance. He then hears Goku yell out at the end of his beam as he teleports behind Dabura and fires off at the Demon King. Shin hopes that wasn't enough for Babidi to resurrect Buu as they congratulate the Earth's fighters on taking out the 2 servants. But they do not know where the ship is now. Tien says that they can find out from Piccolo pointing out towards the crater where they left him. They run back over to see that the body is missing. Shortly after, they hear laughing coming from behind them. Babidi, along with a large purple egg, appears before them. He thanks the Earth's fighters for using so much Kili in defeating his minions. It was almost enough to resurrect Majin Buu all on its own. With the energy he just took from the Piccolo fellow, it was enough to bring about their destruction. Shin says that it's too late and they have no other choice than to try to destroy the egg before it awakens. The Z Fighters all fire their attacks at the egg, with it being covered in smoke. As the smoke clears though, they see Babidi in a sphere shield and a large pink being behind him. Shin and Gabito are frozen in fear at the sight of Majin Buu, the monster that destroyed handfuls of planets, as well as taking out the previous Supreme Kai's life in order to seal him away. Babidi yells at his creation to deal with these foes, and from there no one will be able to stop them in taking over this galaxy. Buu stands still looking at Babidi, asking if this guy has any food for Buu. Babidi says that once he deals with them, he will give them food. Buu says that he is hungry now as his antenna comes to life and fires at Gabito, turning the Supreme Kai's assistant into a cracker version of himself, with Buu flying over, eating him in one bite. The Sea Fighters and Shin are shocked at what just happened, not knowing how they will bring him back, since they were just informed that Piccolo is dead, which means Kami and the Dragon Balls are no longer active. Shin tells them that they have to deal with Babidi as quickly as possible and try to maintain Buu until they can find a way to contain him again. Goku tells Shin that they can distract Buu and probably deal with Babidi too. As for sealing Buu, they know a way to contain people, and Tien remembers the technique. Shin is surprised that these Earthlings know of a way to seal away threats, with him asking what they needed for it to be done. Tien tells Supreme Kai that they will need a container and a seal for the technique to work, with Shin materializing both in front of him. Goku tells Tien to wait for them to deal with Babidi and distract Buu long enough for him to perform the Mafuba. Tien nods as he grabs the container and seal and heads away, with Shin somewhere further away from the battlefield. Goku and the rest of the Z Fighters square off against Majin Buu and Babidi, with the strongest dealing with Buu himself. Goku, Gohan, and Krillin are trying their best to fight off against Majin Buu, but don't seem to be doing any damage to him. They try to fire a group Kamehameha at him, with it taking off the top half of Buu. They think they have finally done some damage to the pink beast before the pieces of Buu recombine, and Buu being back to perfect health. As for the rest of the Z Fighters, they are not doing any better against Babidi, with the Magician just staying inside of his Ki shield as Yamcha and the rest try to break through. Babidi laughs, yelling out that they have no hope in defeating his creation. Krillin turns and tosses a Destructo Disc, which is able to crack through Babidi's shield, stopping the Magician's laughter. Yamcha, Yajirobe, and Chiaotzu perform a group attack at the crack created by Krillin, which is able to break through and destroy Babidi. Buu stops his fighting, asking if these guys will give Buu food since the small guy can't no more. Goku thinks fast, saying that they can get Buu some food, seeing that as a way to distract Buu long enough for Tien. He tells Krillin to go ahead and heads to the lookout to get some food and smiles at him. Krillin, seeing Goku's plan, flies to the direction of Shin and Tien, alerting them of the plan. He then comes back with a plate of food for Buu, with the Majin gleefully taking it. As he is eating the food, Tien flies down and yells out Mafuba as a green aura forms around Buu. Buu is surprised by this and then starts to be taken up by the Mafuba. His body is stretched before being sent to the container and sealed placed on top of it. Tien huffs from the amount of energy that it took to perform the Mafuba before falling to the ground. Shin goes over, healing him and congratulating him on sealing the beast. That is before they hear a train whistle-like noise coming from the container. It seems that though Buu was sealed, a piece of him was left outside on the battlefield, which reformed and broke the container. Now smoke is fuming from Majin Buu's head as another gray Buu comes out of the pink one, with the gray one firing a candy beam at the pink one, eating him whole. Unknowingly, Tien and the other Z Fighters have caused Super Buu to be created faster than normal due to him being tricked like this. Super Buu looks angrily at Tien before tearing off a piece of himself, which covers Tien's arm. The piece of Buu then forces Tien to fly towards Super Buu, with him being absorbed. The Z Fighters look in shock as Super Buu is now wearing a gi much similar to the one that Triclops was wearing before them, asking which one of them will be his food next. With the creation of Tien Buu, how will the Z Fighters deal with an even stronger threat? What will they do now that the Dragon Balls are no longer active? Find out all this more on the next episode of What If the Sagas Reverse. With that, everybody, I hope you have a great day and that you liked this part, and if you did so, make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts down below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.